People with gods have flashes of fire. The whole body radiates heat waves. Even far away from him, I'm sure you can still feel the heat. Don't feel for an hour. The Martian principle of mastery. This person wants to be sure. The church is now one step ahead. It is most secure behind the back. Turn to the person who just came. The sheep have not seen you in years. It's getting worse and worse. The body is the divine master. Use pressure with a backstage. 9 Seafood heard this and laughed back. Your king is in style. That year, 10 people beat 2 people and left me. What are you doing in heaven today? Only rely on you. Absolutely not the 2 of us. Sutra Tian mouth. With a strange smile. Don't worry, old man, don't worry. This time the old man came. I don't want to be your enemy. It's just this little boy of ours. Nature born. Fire properties. The king decided it wasn't right for him. So the old man served the master's destiny. Take him to the master of arts. I can't believe the sheep looked at him. Doubt that the king of France has many of you. You still need a master. I laughed for an hour, not afraid to say ha ha ha. You said no wrong. Our emperor has many laws. But there's no one subject can catch up with the emperor. Emperor decided. This young man of ours is very demanding. Best practice to practice the most powerful fire system in the universe. So the old man came to you. Part of his father's fiery death. Who doesn't know? Is the magic method? Only after the most unique method 7 families. The sheep nodded in agreement. I just mentioned the king. He was angry with the fire. Looking at the tears, laughing for an hour. They say this is the real word. Scripture ceremony, since you joined the empire. It's getting more and more cowardly, which leads me to the master to make my will come true. The owner should come in person. But they let you down. What a watchdog of the emperor. The celestial prayer unconsciously stagnated, not in anger. Whispered an hour. This man said he was cowardly. Wait for this boy's silkworm's blood to enter your mouth to see. Do you have the courage? I thought he was cold. Annoying sound of the old fire. Don't he talk nonsense about whether you accept it or not. Not received. Sheep inflammation high definitely laughed out loud and said. Before, Emperor Mon 10 Grand Palace Feng attacked the 2 of us. The old man also accepted your young master as his disciple. You are a coward like you. Aggressive sutra biting lips. Comes without a word. Just wait a little while for him. That's right now. Most likely, he was impatient to cry. Before you praised the Fire Lord with all your words, I was reluctant to follow you. But now it seems that's all there is to it. It doesn't even compare to the celestial elders. The scene of our emperor. The sheep could not help but be startled when they heard this. Look in the direction of the sound. I saw the contemptuous face of the most ordinary. Lead up to yes. The old man took a 10 on 10 that year. I have never bought you from the king's palace. You dare to say, the old man is not as good as carrying you. That's what it is. He pointed to the mountain in front of him. See you here burning the mountain. Burned to half. Then it freezes again, and the fire is not strong enough. Force is not enough. Sheep inflammation high cannot help but stagnate a little bit, crying and laughing. The king is so naive. Not out of the house all my life. Even the scene after the two great masters fight. The second is not out. Finally, he seriously taught his son to love. You are young and you don't understand. The old man is not compared to you. As you remember the old man. This is not a mountain burning. It's the tragedy left behind, after the old man fought with our woman. Oh, a real harm. Hear this word. Most likely, he blinked in admiration. It's just a scene after a fight. It's already magnificent. Then don't tell the elders. Even the bow is not equal. Sheep inflammation high, pleased to nod, pleased to say can teach. But the worst of all said the next. Make him angry and want to be rough. The sheep said, your old lady is really good. A man is not equal to a woman. It's so impotent. 144. Sheep inflammation high, angry, want to bleed, angry, shout. Son, don't talk casually. It's called the old man's fire. It's frozen. It's clear that her ice was melted by the old man. Your brother has a vision, and he loves you dead. At this moment a sound of escape. People look at. I saw a little lowly standing at the top of the mountain. On his happy face, he said, did you hear me? Even a little devil can see. He is one step ahead of you. You don't even admit defeat. Stop talking and come to the side. 9 high, blink hello. The worst of all. Look at the person in front of you. Can't help but glance contemptuously. It was clear that an old lady lowly was in front of him. Claiming to be billionaire, it makes others cold. But this old lady used the vi to maintain the image. If not, her power will definitely improve. I'm going to beat these two old men. Think about here. The most likely is laughing. 2 hours of crying. Billions are beautiful. 2 hours and a half with someone who's like snow. But hit her in the clouds. Smiling to the most sure way. The devil's mouth is sweet. However, he did not like the people of the emperor. But you're the exception. Most likely, he laughed for an hour. Pointing toward sheep inflammation high, said billion. She's his niece, right? But not the same. He's so bad. What to do? You can give birth to a granddaughter who looks like a flower. The ant serum laughed again. Face like a flower. Aggressive, squeezing the most sure cheeks, laughing, said. The devil loves you so much, ha ha ha. The most sure-looking temple next to the Seminole. 1 billion. 2 hours of prayer. Who trembled with a grudge? I'm sure this butler has any loose ends. It is for the purpose of not using tricks. The opposite is sheep. He glared furiously. The most sure look is the scold. Your eye is used to fart, sow. This old lady is over 100 years old, even if you use practice vi to maintain a youthful appearance. But body temperament, there is no half of the female form. You are in the kingdom. I've never seen a woman in my life, have I? Probably the most unanswered. The ant serpent remembered you looking at him angrily. He is immortal. Where does she look like a girl? You want to fight, right? You look at this look of yours. There's no girl who claims to be a lady all day. A bunch of years without shame. The sheep laughed for an hour. The snow ant heard this word angry. An hour. An aggressive chef's beat towards sheep inflammation high. Just for a moment, a white streak flashed by, into a snowflake that flies away. Sheep with shrunken eyes. Dare not delay. Swinging my sleeve emits a flame. White light here help. Aggressive screaming granny. You want to play again, don't you? Right, why? Who told you to speak ill of him in front of the children? She is old and wants to raise a boy. Old buffalo grazing young grass. The immortal man spoke casually. In the meantime, you two are arguing. Most likely, they looked at each other. In my heart laughing. Celestial understanding ceremony. Take a step forward and say. 2. The old man took this child to the master to study art today. Not watching you to fight. If your sheep are not satisfied, then the old man took him first. Most probably fake attachment. Looking at the snow, the ant laughed. Billion goodbye. See this scene. The snow ant in her soft lap screamed out loud. Wait a minute, I love this baby. Sheep inflammation high contemptuously smile ironically. She collected the monkey. People are fire nature. Suitable to practice the fire system of the old man. What are you, an ice system practitioner, involved in? The ants don't pay attention to him. Hold up your head coldly. He fought with you all his life. That part of you. The old man soon knew. Why didn't you get this baby? The sheep are stuck for a while. Finally laughing and laughing hee. Base, the old man can become the greatest firefighter in the universe. It's not just based on the law. It's based on this. Looking at the fire in the hands of sheep, the most astounding man shouted out the fire spirit. Mediterranean protects inflammation. The boy has eyes. Sheep inflammation high frown. Take a look at the most obvious. Voice of praise. It is not wrong if you are a teacher. Except for the part of God. The old man also divided an inflammatory martyr of the Mediterranean. Protect yourself for your child. Until then, you really are the old man's wife. Feel the heat coming. Most probably not out of pity. This violent Mediterranean was born in. The center of the volcano is young fire. The more fire. It can not only enhance the efficiency of gas purification. The fight is several times more successful. The fire was so strong. You can fight 10 players. The power is not bad. But that was the miracle of that year. Under the sea of inflammation, maybe a little more than sheep. You can see how devious his body is. Thinking of this, he silently felt lucky. The devil is a rare fighter. It's also a great exercise. Before I caught him, he was so pale. Then, I think the most likely is a smile. It's awkward to look at the serpent and say, oh. He said he was a master. Then it's possible to have the death inflammation of that heavenly fire. Or is. But he hasn't finished yet. The ant snow hurriedly cut across the drill boy. Hurry, what the old man has. Billions also exist. This word just came out. The most likely is pouting. People are firefighters. Collect the fire spirit of heaven and earth. Of course it doesn't matter. An ice guru like she said. I have heaven and earth. And you haven't even thought about it yet. In the hands of the ant serum, there's a mental iceberg. You must be most terrified to see this. Moon spirit ice is worthy of the fire spirit of heaven and earth. It's even rarer. It's also the aquatic system of Ra in the middle of the sky. Can clean up the heat from the sky. Wash the memories in your heart. How many times to raise the Vi? And the most important thing is that it's thousands of years old. Normal players can't stand it. In the hands of these two, there is such rare protection. Really not bad. The ant serum nodded slightly. This little boy's knowledge is not trivial. The fire is rare, but not a few people know. But this moon spirit ice has little known. You realize again. Most likely embarrassed, laughing and muttering. Read the book a little, ha ha ha. Master ants, as much as the most interesting. Sheep inflammation high, not willing to cry out, old woman. People want to practice fire. This moon spirit ice of yours is even more beneficial. It doesn't suit people either. The old man advised her not to attend. But right now, most certainly. The world comes to the side. The ant serum grabbed her elbow. Smiling face said, billion. I really want to practice with you. Unfortunately, our properties don't match. I can't use this ice cream. People can think of ways. Let that old man spread the sea of inflammation. Look at the strongest arm in the world holding the ant serum. The sheep roared furiously and left the old woman. Serum ants look at sheep inflammation high. Raise your head and say, let me help you. Immortals, how do we bet? 245 fanatical fire hydrants. What extreme do you want? The ant serum in her eyes lit up with a loud voice. The rules tickle what you can win me a trick. I will not accept this child. If we can beat you by half a stroke, then you are a gift from the death of the Red Sea. How to meet this new disciple of mine? The worst. When I finished, I hurriedly hugged the snow. Billions are too dangerous. We don't want the Mediterranean to burn anymore. Don't worry, comedian. This old man has never won against me in his life. The ant serum patted his head, laughing consolingly. But sheep inflammation high. He was so angry that he shouted at the devil who deserved to die. Didn't he warn you earlier? Leave the grandmother. Without leaving the snow, the ants and the mortals answered in unison. Sheep inflammation high look at to angry people want to be mad. But I'm not angry with the ant serum. Then he stood there with tears of anger. Little devil rotten. The devil is the white face you lead. Soon the old man will come to you to settle the account. Unconsciously shrugging his shoulders, he refused to comment. Sheep inflammation high breathing loudly. He pointed to the snowy peak and said yes to the old man. It's still the old place. He finished in the blink of an eye and flew away. The ant serum laughed for an hour and followed. Only the most powerful man behind the back chase shouted, billion. I don't want that fire anymore. Don't he have anything to do? But the two of them just disappeared. Most likely, his face changed in the blink of an eye. Said with a cold smile, "You must beat Cho first." The temple also laughed loudly, ha ha ha. The butler must have turned around quickly. If the old man does not know how to hide his love, I'm sure you're also fascinated by your innocent appearance. I thought you were a teenager who knew life. Probably the most subtle glance. A little deep tears said to. You think those two are easy to fool? They always have one hand. Oh, so our plan has failed. They won't really fight. Not jacket hand. Most likely laughing, I said. They will fight and they will fight to the ground. Just because the old lady wants to fight. The old man, of course. But you'll leave one hand for your room. Hear this word. Shocking tears could not help but frown anxiously. But very quickly, most likely, the world laughed quietly for an hour. They won't room us. Right now. A bang echoed through the entire sky into halves. Half of the dead. The other half the wind is cold to the bone. Most likely, smile for an hour. He gently clasped his hands firmly and said these to old men. An extreme inflammation. No water can escape from the palm of my hand. These two elders, I want to be sure. Probably the most common of all calm. Standing at the foot of the mountain, distant eyes looking up at the sky. Watch the match non-stop. Consecutive days. The fire broke out. Ice in the hands of the ant serum. Still as solid as a stone table. There's no sign of disappearing. Firefighters and the state of the moon. Just like usual, fall into a world of struggle. Two people have been fighting this battle for 2 months. Your strength is gradually weakening. Most likely the eyes light up. The corners of the mouth reveal a strange curve. It's time for us to get on the floor. Next, see your expression. Hey ha ha ha, no problem. Since practicing friction determination, the old man's performance has made great progress in recent months. I will not miss the expectations of the butler. Laughing for an hour. In the blink of an eye towards the top, the inflammatory snow flies away. At the same time in the snow, the ant serum is panting right now. Kneeling on the snow and ice, his mouth still has blood. Look at the angry person. Immortal, you finally gave it your all. Bad old Thai grandma. The sheep are now also weakened. Take a few breaths. The face is a little embarrassed. I'm sorry I hurt you again. I'm sorry, what does it do? I can't believe you're so fake. It hides so much power. He was fooled by you for so many years. Tell me what you're up to. Sheep inflammation high urgently coat hand. Hurry to say the ant bar. Don't get me wrong. You and I have been fighting for so many years. What's the plot? The ant serum, the 9 lips turned their head to another place. You're hiding so deep. I remember our battle half a year ago. You are a little worse than him. He is so much stronger than me now. Fake men. Sheep inflammation high not stop urgently. Softly biting his lips and sighing admitting the ant. In fact, for 15 years. We fight over 100 times each time we give it to you. Just because you're too aggressive. I can't bear to give you up. That's why I kept it hidden. His words are not over yet. The ant serum glared stubbornly, saying, "If you gave me that before, now Sao no longer yield." The sheep are stuck for a while. I finally got upset and said this time it might be the same. If we lose this time, you're actually going to get that white-faced name. She is a woman who is not old. Who knows what happened? The ant serum stared at the sheep inflammation of the sea. Look at his form. You know, laughing like you thought for years. Old lady, no, you gave me the sow. This time I borrowed the devil's excuse. Bet with you. You want your own mouth to speak. If not, you will die. Old lady though Hugh strong. But they're not narrow-minded. The sheep blinked a few times. Happy to say that. I don't think you want that white face. Yes, this one. Serum ant twisting machine. Unsure of a naughty smile. Watch your next performance. If from now on you have something to hide from me. He didn't just accept a simple white face. Oh no 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 no. The old man did not dare to hide her anymore. Even if we fight again, the old man will beat you as hard as he can. But he hasn't finished yet. The ant serpent then attacked him, deafening something. The sheep saw that and scared away, scratching his head laughing. The ants also laughed at him. The 15-year-old problem exists between them. Finally solved. Suddenly right now, the most plastered celestial ceremony appeared in front of them. Most likely, I saw the injured snow shout for an hour, running to the trillions and trillions injured. Where we have the healing medicine for billions. The old lady has lost. You can't go near her anymore. The sheep saw that they were jealous. Gritted my teeth. And he doesn't pay attention to him either. He took out a bottle of medicine. Put towards the ant serum, said billion. This is spring duong dawn. It can heal. You can also recover some energy. The ant serum looked slightly frowned in front of him. I didn't receive it immediately either. It's clearly the most divisive of all. Suddenly right now, a force path flashed through the medicine vase in the hand. Most likely they were flown out. Probably most astonished looking at him. Ask the old man what he does. The sacred ceremony in the eyes flashed close. Said coldly, "Little boy, these two are the great enemies of my king. Weakening is the best chance to get rid of it." 246 trapped. Probably the best in the eyes. Turned his head towards the tears of doubt. You didn't have to take me to the temple. Bad can be good, of course. But killing them now ends things better. The sutra looks towards the most certain angry. It's cold, young man. You better stay out. If I don't hurt you or kill you. The old man is not responsible. The Holy Father is my father. He hasn't finished yet. The sacred ceremony was cut by the cold. Even if your father is the master, I'm sure he also supports this approach. Killed a little boy. Changing the lives of two great enemies is too much. Hear this word. Sheep inflammation high and serum ants are constantly resentful. That's the way the emperor did it. It's so cruel. That's right, knitting. At this moment, most likely, the world screamed out a loud voice. Looking at the porcelain vase dropped on the ground. Rush to that place. Billions quickly eat that medicine. Maybe he can recover a little. In the eye condensation, the celestial prayer toward the porcelain vase. It's as if you want to break a mountain. He grinds his teeth, screaming to die. But right now, a shadow appeared, and a minister took it. If you look closely, it is the fire of the sheep. At the same time, the snow picked it up. Look to the most certain side, little brother. This medicine really works. Of course. Probably the most smiling. In the face full of fear and joy. God's people raise one eyebrow. Seems 10 parts worried. The ant serum was swallowed by Kier. Without delay, allow your knocked it down. Jump towards the most fleshy spot. But the sheep here saw that he wanted to attack. Hurry up and stop. A chariot containing the Mediterranean. As the tide rises. To catch a chord of heavenly tears. A loud explosion was heard. The Mediterranean is inflamed but strong, but the person opposite is a fake. Practice the rules of heaven. So in the blink of an eye, a chuang of sheep inflammation high was smashed. He was also flown out, spitting out a sip of fresh blood. The ant serpent saw this scene filled with anxiety. Rushed to the side of the sheep. You to look at each other. In the same hand screamed. A sound of water fire plus Qilong Feng wall presentation. Lifting according to the overbearing voice of two people, Fire Dragon and Chu Marquis in blue. Appeared in the blink of an eye. Wrap around together. Rushing towards the tears of horror. Probably the most horrified to see the fire. An hour in front of the sky. Long and New Yet Lin Feng ice storm. This is the art of fire. If really hit. Even if it is the Master of Magic 6. They are also definitely uninjured. Real, it only works with the normal vision. Master training as if in the sky. It's another story. The Tibetan prayer looked at the fire dragon. The ice is coming. There is no panic either. Gentle hand manual press. Screams of friction sound, the first 3 strikes. Ma Long fetish. At this moment a dragon roared. As if to tear the sky open. Black dragon and the wild ice dragon collided. Make the sound of a landslide. But don't wait for 2. Sheep inflammation high time to rest. The sound is like an hour. Friction 3-second extinction. Long Trow demon. Another move just came out. Your body has weakened. It's not fundamentally an opponent of horror. Meet this perverted trick again. They were quickly pushed back, spitting out a big gulp of blood together. The sheep look at these 2 tricks. Doubt or speak up. This is not the king's decision. What pervert practice? The dead don't need to know that much. There was no cold answer for an hour. In the hand, the power is concentrated, a form of one that continues to attack again. Looking closely at the people, the tears of horror spread out. The ant serum frowned upon. This time, see if he really did it. But with the current state, they are not his opponents. Glance at the medicine pot in your hand. This is their only way. Most likely, one side looked at the snow, smiling with pleasure. Eventually the fish got caught. Thought. The most likely is to rush to shout out loud. Let me stop him. Finished the words and ran to embrace behind the tears of horror. Hindered by why? Angry prayer, cried the little boy. What is this person doing? Do you want to force the old man to do something? Probably the best regardless. My voice is strong, no matter what. Even if you can't hurt a billion. Ants and sheep saw this scene. Unconsciously vibrating, look at each other a little. A little bit of a bet. End words. The ant then poured knitting medicine in the jar. Take a swallow. Down to take a tablet with sheep inflammation, I said. I don't know this medicine. How much can we recover? But at least this child's mind. The snow can't help. Sheep inflammation, high stuffing mouth, laughing a teasing say. He. Old Thai grandma. I can't believe she's a bunch of years old and she still exists. Enchanted this little devil so much. The snow that heard this turned red. Take a look at him. The old man is a bunch of years old and has a mouth. Eat this medicine to deal with the enemy. End words. In the hands of the ant serpent immediately outline the world. Muttered. Obedient old man here to protect the old lady. Suddenly right now. A cry of Thant echoed. A hero suddenly appeared next to her. Create a protective ring inside her. The most ordinary and the most horrifying tears together startled. That's the king level of the beast haunting Goktuet. And they're not all that surprised. In the hands of sheep inflammation, high also ordained. It's the king level, the geocentric animal, the tiger. I watched these two demons come out. This guardian animal. Not without a little appreciation. Tiger is the manager of everything. Of course it's what he said. These two old men hit the ground. But he still has a hand in his room. And not just one hand. The opposite is the worst. Out of a state of wonder and rejoice. The more these two monsters do, the power is stronger. If you can get them back, it's worth it. So he will definitely bring them back to his hands. Don't let go of 247. See this scene. Shocking tears urgently shouted for an hour. Young man, get out of here. The old man had to deal with them now. Don't be sure the world is the same. The temple of heaven is too angry. Allow your hit the top of the most popular. If that's the case, don't blame the old man unintentionally. A fierce chancellor rushed to. Most people are not afraid to hold on to the tears of horror. Ants and sheep look at high inflammation. I can't help but cry out to my son. To see a cord of heavenly tears. He was about to hit the worst. To sheep bite their teeth. His intense gaze towards the opposite of the boy. We will avenge you. Tiger chain, snow defender for us. Old lady, we quickly practice knitting medicine. The two of you have no doubt. Cross-legged by chemical knitting. That to king level animal guards guard next to. Right now, the prayer is finally over. No more pretending. The fish caught in this drama just wait for the end. The most complete design. Satisfied with laughter, the next sound. Waiting for them to get their chemo.